Hello there, my name is Leo, and I just wanted to show, just kind of like show off my player first-person model camera model movement thing that I've got going on in Godot 4.5, soon to be 4.6, because I think there's like new stuff coming out soon or whatever with like improved lighting or something like that. Okay, this is my person, and then I click on that to take me to my scene. Yes, okay. This is my player scene. Basically, I have a it's first person, so I've just got my camera set up where my head is. This is like a super basic model. It doesn't even have a head because I'm haven't tried like hiding the head from the camera or something, putting the camera inside the head. I don't really know how that works. If anyone if anyone knows how that works, please let me know, because I'm a little scared to do that. But basically, I've got my model, and basically the animation player I've got set up, it was imported from like Blender. So like I have this I got this model and I put a bunch of like Mixamo animations into it with Blender, or not with Blender, but it's like I combined them all into Blender to get them onto this model. It was like really terrible because I hate Blender. What I did was I have an animation tree. I just followed this like YouTube tutorial on like how to use animation trees or whatever. Like it's pretty easy. Like this node stuff, like, reminds me of Blender. It's like bad. Basically, it's like some node stuff. You connect your animations with these little animation nodes, and then you blend them all into this main kind of channel that it runs through into the output. Whoops. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. There's like an output thing. Basically, turn the blend up of one animation, starts doing that animation more. And then, personally, instead of using like backwards walking and backwards like crouch walking animations, I just put in like a time scale thing here. So like if I turn the walking up, so it's, oh gosh, dude, I can't. Okay, turn up, no. Okay, yes. One, okay, cut that out, jeez. Basically, I set this time scale to -1. Boom! Backwards walking. I'm trying to be quiet because I'm scared that people are going to hear me talking about video games. But basically, just have that. And then I think that is it for like the main like actual like editor scene thing. Let me just show you an example of how my character moves. So basically, idle animation standing like this. When it moves, it kind of goes into the direction of the thing. Going backwards, plays the backwards walking animations. And this is just me with WASD. I'm not using a controller. I haven't done the controller thing yet. But when you stand still, you can like move the camera around a little. Your guy stands still. And then when you move it a little bit, he kind of goes with you. So, or she. This isn't just only a guy, but basically that's kind of like my normal idle thing. And then I have another thing set up to where when you're walking into a wall, it changes your rotation of the character to match it, so you're not like walking into a wall. And so like you can do that. And I kind of have it set up to a sprinting thing to where you kind of like walk faster because you're like not going at the full speed of the like the actual sprint speed, because the wall is making you go slower. But yeah, basically that's it. And then you can do the same thing. I ran into a problem where like walking backwards while pressing like a forwards, because I'm pressing W and D, which is a forward movement, but I am going backwards. I ran into some problems with the character rotation with the wall and other things like that. I have the system set up to where it detects your speed, and if you're slower than like the certain speed you're supposed to be going at, like the run or walk speed, then it does the actual like handling of not walking into the wall. But when I press D and I'm walking into the wall this way at like this kind of angle where I'm just kind of going as fast as I would normally go, it still looks like I'm walking into a wall, so I might implement something like to negate that, but I don't really know like what, like that's just something weird that I wanted to point out also. I was going to say something, but I forgot, so I will try to remember what I was going to say. I am in the player scene right now, and I just have a movement animations node with the script that's like just linked to the player. As you can see, I've got like the export variables and stuff of whatever like variables that I need from whatever things. So like the head, which is the like Y rotation of the player, because I have in my thing right here for my camera setup, I've got this neck base, which isn't really important. This was kind of for like a camera shake effect that I was trying to do. And then neck, which is the head. So I called neck and head. Neck and head are the same thing, basically for me. This is like the Y rotation, and then the camera is the X rotation. And I don't know why it's like the X rotation is like this or something, but it's like weird inverted rotation stuff or whatever thing. And yeah, so basically neck is the kind of thing that I am worrying about here, because that is the direction that you are facing as a player. So I have all this stuff set up. I'm not going to go through like everything I have, because it's kind of just a bunch of like garbage like code that's just completely terrible. For like player rotation and stuff, some helpful things that I learned. I started off like pretty not in the know of how to handle like, you know, rotation and stuff in coding in Godot. So there's some like pretty helpful things. Basically, you got to know what radians are, which thankfully I know, because I remember from I took calculus in high school. I remember that. I'm in college right now. I'm 19, but so it wasn't really that long ago. But yeah, basically, radians is a measurement of degrees. So like, let's say you got like this here, and then this here. Okay, wait, sorry. This here is 0 degrees. This here is 180 degrees. That is in degrees. This here would be 0 in radians. This here would be pi in radians. So that's basically all you need to know. So some helpful functions to know are that there are radian to degree functions and degree to radian functions. So like, I think Godot stores most of like the rotation stuff in radians, unless if you access on like a 3D node its rotation degrees property, which I think just does a radian to degree function or whatever on the rotation degrees. And then another thing is that rotation degrees in Godot for like just kind of like camera movement, or at least how my setup is, it is set inside of -180 to 180 degrees. So basically, so you have 0, oh crap, this is probably, you have 0 degrees, 180 degrees, and then you turn around, then you have -180 degrees. And I don't really know how they like share, because they're the same value, so I think it's normally just 180 degrees and not stored as -180 or something like that. But basically, it goes around. You can't go any higher than 180 degrees or any lower than -180. So useful functions for that. There's like a lot of different like problems that you can run into because it's stored like that. You can't really, like, if you're going from -179 degrees to +179 degrees, you could be only turning like 2 degrees. Like, that's not going the full thing around. You could just be going like this. So, and you're just passing like the 180 degree point. So basically, there's some helpful functions for that. The wrap function, wrap F is float, means float, stores floats and stuff. so like the decimal numbers. Basically, you can just wrap when you're doing math and like adding calculations and rotation degrees. Do basically just wrap whatever the calculation thing is, and then minus 180 and 180. That keeps everything in that kind of, you know, negative 180 to 180 range, which is helpful. And then absolute value is helpful when you're calculating differences in angles or whatever type of things. Just like makes it positive and stuff. Wow, okay, jeez, that's a terrible explanation. And then lerp, when you're lerping rotation, it's important to do lerp angle. And I think lerp angle, this doesn't stay in the range of negative 180 to 180. So like I think the values, like your like degrees that are input into whatever you're lerping, are actually, they can go higher than 180 and negative 180. They can go higher anyways. Like Godot just automatically wraps them when you do your thing. So I think that's how this works, because lerping, you know, it's like actual kind of movement. It's not like first you're here, then you're here. It's like you're here and then you're kind of slowly moving over here. Or I guess in my case, it's kind of like and it slows down like that. It's really nice. But yeah, basically. And yeah, there's like other stuff I want to talk about. I kind of talked about the functions a lot. That's probably not helpful at all. Basically, for my handling model animation, I first test if the player's idle, and then if they're idle, I kind of do set the model parent rotation degrees, which is like the node that is the parent to the model. So like I have basically, for my rotation of my model setup, I don't know if this is the best thing to do, but I have a player model base. So the model base is what I use to rotate the model in terms of following the input, the like mouse movement input. So in my player function for my handling, you know, the looking around, so this would be unhandled input. I have my head that gets rotated, and then also I have a function that links to here, which handles model base rotation and stuff. And this, there's like, I have some other logic in here to make sure that everything is working right with the when a player is standing idle. And this is kind of my logic for when they're idle, and you know, the model doesn't move when they're like inside this little point right here, but then when they start moving over here, it moves the model with it. And then another helpful thing that I was doing was I stored unwrapped degrees, because when you're doing stuff, I don't know if I could have done something differently with like wrapped functions, but I ran into problems where it's like, because going from negative 179 to 179, positive 179, it's like that was like fine, but it kind of changed. Since it changed the sign, there were like certain kind of like distance calculations that I was trying to do that I was kind of messing up. So I wanted to just store it so it would be like the actual rotation. So like if you're kind of rotating around like here a lot, then your rotation degrees would be like that it would store would be like, I don't know, like 1,000 degrees. So basically I just have this unwrapped rotation function, which I can find here, and it literally just adds the difference in rotation from the last rotation of that the model was in, and doesn't wrap it. Well, it does wrap the difference of rotation,